The first car ever made was a Benz. Well, the first gasoline car ever made was a Benz. But it took Mercedes up until 1997 to realize that not everybody that wants a car is a millionaire to afford an S-Class or an E-Class. This is a direct beneficiary of that decision. Hello great people, you're watching Kaizen, and let's start from that side. This is my least favorite part of the car. It looks a bit like a van. I'm not a big fan of this design here. A Mercedes badge there, just in case you forgot, it's a Mercedes. Halogen lights, not a big fan of how it looks. I would give it a 3 out of 10, but I'm sure beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Someone looks at this and thinks it's beautiful, but that person is not me. The side profile looks much better than what's going on at the front. So I like the positioning of the side mirrors. There's a bit of window after the side mirror, which makes the interior look bigger than it actually is. I like this little indicator light on the fender there. Original Mercedes wheels. Yeah, so it's a disc brake at the front and drum brakes at the rear. Remember, this car is front wheel drive, so that's something we expect. Chrome accents on the door handles. It's key operated. The side profile, I would give it a 7 out of 10. It looks much better than what's going on at the front, which is very unfortunate. Moving on to the back, is it a nice ass to follow? Well, I think it is. It's very easy on the eyes at the back here. Mercedes badging here. I like the spoiler up here. It's a plastic spoiler, and the little tail lights, very easy on the eyes. I like the way this back window heads into the C-pillar. Yeah, overall, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 for the back here. Now let's head over to what powers this thing. Unfortunately, for us to see what powers the A160, we have to go back to this unfortunate looking front side. But it's a 4-cylinder 1.6 liter engine. It makes about 105-106 horsepower, which is plenty for a car this size. Well, obviously some of those horses have escaped since coming to Africa because they don't like the climate. There is a diesel version of this car, a CDI. You can get it in diesel. All that power goes to the front wheels through a 5-speed automatic in this specific car. It's a traditional torque converter automatic, though you can get this car in a manual, a 5-speed manual. Something else to note is this engine is mounted pretty low to the floor, and Mercedes says that's to improve crash performance and stuff. But that, combined with the very low sitting position in this car, means you get a very low center of gravity, which is good for handling. Yep, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's a pretty large engine for a car this size. Let's move on to the interior. Let's start with the driver's side. Well, Mercedes markets this as a compact car, but sitting here, what compact car? It feels very, very spacious inside here. I'm not sure how they managed to get such an enormous space from a small car. Yeah, so driving position, this is my exact, I've adjusted the seats to suit my exact driving position, and it feels really nice. I can see the road ahead pretty okay, thanks to that bonnet that goes like this. The rear visibility through that rear window, I can see pretty okay. This is how you operate your automatic transmission. The drive has a plus and minus, so you can actually do your manual shifting to this automatic transmission. There's 2 modes, W and S. W is for winter, S is for sport or standard, depending on the market you're from. So if your market is gullible enough to accept this as sporty, then it's sport. Otherwise, it's just standard. There's a digital gauge cluster up there, shows you your rev count, your speedometer, and then your fuel gauge. Window controls are not on the door, they're down here. So this is how you operate them. It's a German, so this is your indicator on the wrong side of the steering wheel, and there's nothing this side. This is how you operate your lights from down here. Yep. There's an enormous valley at the dashboard there, about the size of the Rift Valley. Guess if you come from the Rift Valley, that would be something that reminds you of home. Yeah, overall, it's a really nice interior from this position. Remember, this is not a budget luxury car. This is a budget car. And for a budget car from Mercedes, I think it looks really nice. It was aged really well. I bet you can't find something from Japan that is this age and looks this nice this many years from when it was made. Yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 for this position. Let's move on to the passenger princess accommodation. Because of the positioning of this tiny glove box, relatively speaking, your front passenger gets plenty of knee room. Yeah, I'm exactly 6 feet tall and I have no trouble at all fitting here. I would be very comfortable here on a long journey. They get an airbag, although as a driver, there is a button here where you can disable the airbags if you don't like the attitude of your front passenger, especially towards the design of your car at the front. Yep, so they can see the road ahead pretty okay. Yeah, a pretty comfortable position. The seats are really nice and soft, not too soft, not too hard, just the right amount of support you get from the seat. And there's an armrest here, which you can argue with the driver about who gets to use it. Yep, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Let's move on to the back passenger. Now, you remember when I asked where the space was coming from when I was at the driver's seat? Well, from here you can understand where the space is coming from, and it's from this side. I'm pretty squeezed back here, so I barely have any knee room here. There's plenty of headroom though, and my back is very much straight. These seats are not the most comfortable seats on the planet. They feel, especially the back support, feels like a piece of wood. Yeah, so accommodation back here is not great. I wouldn't be comfortable sat here on a long journey. But again, if your passenger is a child, then maybe they will be comfortable sat here. There's nets at the back here, so if you go to Lake Victoria and you need somewhere to store your fish, there's a fish net here. Yep, not great. 3 out of 10. Let's look at the boot of the A160. It's pretty big, which is unfortunate because the front passengers are squeezed and you get an enormous boot. If you do abductions, this is good for at least one abductee. Though if you can stack them up like this, then it's good for 2 or 3. Yep, a pretty good sized boot. I give it a 7 out of 10. This A160 is a great compact car from Mercedes from back in 2000. You'll struggle to find a Japanese equivalent car that's aged this well, especially in the interior. This specific car is actually for sale. If you can part ways with 370,000 Kenya shillings, you can get yourself this specific one in red. Remember, this video is brought to you by Cousin, your motor insurance partner. This is a fun little car. When you're driving around, you might get cocky and end up in someone's behind. For that, you need to get covered. WhatsApp the number in the description below to get more details on how you can get yourself covered. Also, there's a number in the description below for if you want this specific car. Yeah, so just WhatsApp the number and you can get this car, and also you can get insured. Right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.